Welcome back to our final session of Design Connect 21. It's been a great 3 days of inspirational talks, and if you've missed any of them, we've recorded them and we'll be emailing you a link next week. I'd like to now introduce the team from OSMOND LANGE Architects and Interiors: Suné, Interior Architect; Heidi, McAllister, Architect; Carla, Jooste, Senior Architectural Technologist; and Philip de Toit, Architect, as they discuss the application of green architecture principles. Green architecture is a popular topic, and sustainable design is an important consideration when designing new buildings. The Cape Town team from OSMOND LANGE Architects and Interiors will present some of their current projects that have green sustainable elements as a part of their design. A big thank you to our sponsor, Samsung SA, who recognize the importance of being sustainable as a brand. In 2020 and into 2021, Samsung gained perspective on the things that really matter, like our health and our loved ones, and the experiences we truly value. This is why Samsung sees a brighter future ahead. Samsung believes that the new normal will be a period of greater collaboration and bolder innovation. As Samsung continues to innovate, they are always conscious of the impact that these innovations have on our planet. At Samsung, the belief is that everyone has a role to play in providing an innovative solution that protects the planet for generations to come. With that, I now hand over to the OSMOND LANGE team. Hi.
Thank you, Anita. Hi, hello everyone. My name is Suné. I'm currently in Pretoria, and then the rest of my team, Heidi, Carla, and Philip, are based in Cape Town. I'm just not seeing them on the screen at the moment, so I just want to make sure that they are also there they are. Hi, Carla. Hey.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are from OSMOND LANGE Architects and Interiors, and we will be speaking about the application of green architectural principles. My name is Carla, Jooste, and I will share my experience as the winner of the timber competition organized by HWZ International. Secondly, Heidi McAllister will introduce the workshop project, and that was located in Stellenbosch. And then Philip will share the green architectural principles applied in the shopping center design. And then Suné will wrap up with the joy of green architecture and design. A quick Q&A session will follow afterwards. The Wood Student Foundation, HWZ International, organized a competition for young South African architects to design a timber house for a South African family. The objective of this competition was to broaden the general interest in modern sustainable construction and offer young South African architects the opportunity to explore with innovative building materials such as CLT. CLT is called cross-laminated timber, which is an alternative building material that consists of 3 layers. The middle layer is rotated 90 degrees relative to the outer layers. And there's a few examples of the CLT type of panels, and there's a lot of advantages to this type of construction. So it's high visual quality, it's fire protected, it has good acoustic performance, it's environmental friendly, it's fast installation, and it's prefabricated and cut in the factory and brought to site. So it's very delicate and perfectly for site fast installation. And as you can see on the left hand side, it's just a diagram of how the panels are glued together. So this was the project that I submitted for the competition. The design concept was to incorporate nature within the home by using the concept of biophilic design. My aim was to create a home that is comfortable and sustainable and connects with nature. This home provides the ability to work, play, and sleep in a comfortable environment by creating a very subtle and simplistic design. The intention was to emphasize the true qualities of CLT construction. There was a few design aspects that were incorporated, such as biophilic design. Sustainable aspects were also incorporated, and the use of Nova top panels, which is the CLT construction. The location of the house was designed on a beautiful slope site in Noordhoek that overlooks the beautiful mountain range. The building was designed to blend with its surroundings, merging into the landscape. The building was also orientated in such a way that it enhances natural daylighting and it protects against harsh southeast winds. As the winner of the timber competition, I had the opportunity to have a one-week internship at Brodessi Domessi studio in the Czech Republic. My internship included mentoring and discussion and information session from the director Pavel Horik. I also had the opportunity to visit the famous family house in the eastern side of Czech Republic. I also went to the concept house of potential clients, meeting them there and showing them around what the CLT construction panels and project is all about. I also went to the eastern part of Czech Republic where I met the Novatop team and had a walk through to the Novatop factory. I also had various building sites that I went to visit in Prague and in the countryside. I also made a way to the forest where where the timber actually comes from, the source of it. So, learning and gaining knowledge from well-known and beloved architect Pavel Horik gave me the opportunity to develop my knowledge and to become familiar with timber construction. This opportunity gave me the ability to experience successful timber constructions. I think the biggest misconceptions about timber lead to fewer timber constructions in South Africa. We as architects have the ability to change these misconceptions into successful projects. And I was intrigued of how well architects in the Czech Republic design timber homes to solutions we consider limitations. Misconceptions about timber can be referred to termites, sound insulation, fire insulation, and deforestation. All these aspects have solutions, and after experiencing successful projects in the Czech Republic, I can see how we limit ourselves as designers. After my internship, I fell in love with being a young professional architect again and being inspired by what is possible. I believe we as builders, designers, and contractors have the opportunity to change these misconceptions into successful projects, and using timber construction is the best possible solution. The famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright once said, "The building is not one that hurts the landscape, but one who makes the landscape more beautiful than it was before the building was built." I will hand over to Heidi McAllister now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to be presenting an exciting new project that I've been working on recently, titled The Workshop, and it's a prototype pavilion. So the workshop is located in Stellenbosch in the Western Cape, and the design brief was to design a building that had numerous green building principles. So we decided to explore the idea of using cross-laminated timber and mass timber construction as a starting point because it is a green building material. Timber is carbon neutral, but it's not nearly used enough. It hasn't reached its full potential in South Africa. So it's a relatively new construction method in the country. Currently, the local timber that we have is pine and eucalyptus. It has numerous advantages. It's firstly carbon neutral. It can be locally sourced. We can use local labor. It's got economic benefits for our country. Speed of construction. It's thermally sound. There's minimal waste, and precision is extremely precise. So the reason we're calling the workshop a prototype pavilion is because it'll be the first building in South Africa that uses timber at this kind of scale It's a very large building. The floor area is about 9,000 square meters, but I'll be talking about that more now. So the program for the workshop was to design an innovative hub, which will house young startup companies, as well as provide office space, conference and meeting areas, and food offerings. The driving idea behind the building was to design a pavilion or a shed-like structure which would encapsulate this program. Other ideas we explored were the idea of using a breathable skin, so the entire facade can open up to the outside environment. Other green principles that we explored in the concept phase was the idea of using solar panels on the roof. We had maximized natural light in the building, which will cut down on electrical costs. We are going to do water collection. We've got shading devices on the perimeter of the facade. We're using a green building material. We have active roof spaces, and we will also be using nighttime flushing, which means that during the night, all the vents will open up, and then the hot air from the building will escape, and this helps lower mechanical ventilation costs. This is just an image of the outside of the building. It gives you the idea of this adaptable facade that we tried to achieve. So it can open up, let natural ventilation and light inside the building. So we presented all these ideas to the client, and they were very, very excited about this project. We're also very excited. And we're currently now in a design development phase, and we are busy costing the building. We also spent a lot of time investigating with our structural engineers at WSP the most cost-effective mass timber grid. So we did numerous options and decided on the 8 by 12 meter grid structure. So during the design development phase, you'll notice that we've added an extra floor to make the project more viable. We still have our solar panels on the roofscape. We've also included a polycarb roof sheeting over the central pedestrian spine, which will allow natural light inside the building. And we investigated sun control louvers throughout the facade. Looking at the plan, you'll notice that we have 2 central circulation cores. We've also stacked all our services and ablutions, which is the most efficient design. Fire escapes are located at key areas, and then you'll see our internal pedestrian street that runs right across the center of the building. So the building, as I said, its total floor area is about 9,000 square meters. So it's quite a large timber structure. This section is cutting through that central pedestrian spine. So you'll notice that we've got the polycarb roof sheeting. We also have an extensive gutter system that happens at the valley of the roof, and we collect the water, and it's led back to water tanks at the back of the site. And you'll also notice that there's those perimeter louvers that I discussed earlier, which are used for both fire control, but also for the night flushing, which lets the hot air out of the structure. Here you can see the water tanks at the back of the site. We've also included a green courtyard, and we believe that natural environments are also part of a healthy building design. It's a green principle, so the staff would be able to utilize that space and also get glimpses of nature through the building. This image just shows the type of internal environment of what it will feel like if you're inside that space. So we've got a contrast between the soft, beautiful timber, that's the structure, and then we've got a solid industrial sort of base. And there's also strong visual connections, bridge links that link across from office to office, which also encourages sort of interaction and this idea of this innovation hub. It's a collaborative space. So we're very excited about this project. We're really trying to push the limits of timber and what can be done with timber, and try to create something that hasn't been done yet here in this country. So we're really excited to see this building come to realization. And I'm now going to introduce Philip from our office, and he's going to be talking about green architecture in retail design.
Thanks, Heidi. With the design of the new Masonry Mall in Western Cape, we worked with the problem of how to implement green architecture principles in a commercial retail development. Now, this problem is mainly twofold. Firstly, from the shopper's experience, what would they experience? As experienced design is very important in creating retail spaces. And then secondly, also from the developer and owner's point of view, what are the costs and will they actually still make money? So the solution was to create a development that incorporates green architecture elements both on a large and small scale. So the first solution on a bigger scale was to create a mixed-use development. It creates more flexibility in the markets, offering a mix of opportunities. And there's also an international trend, especially after COVID, where some retail spaces were vacated and required new functions. Thus, for this project, you'll see we've got the Zwartlandmarkt, which is the mall, but then also a new hospital, future offices, and then we're also looking at the possibility of creating apartments in the future. The second solution relates to the experience of green architecture. And for this, we use vegetation that is indigenous to the Malmesbury area, as indicated by this palette that our landscape architect has put together. In the open walkways, this is naturally easy to implement as it is open air. But for the interior passages, it is more difficult, especially from a maintenance point of view. How do you deal with dirt, leaves, and water? Internally, thus, the solution is to grow vertical creepers outside on the roof that is visible from the inside through the roof windows, as shown in the sketch on the bottom right. This lets the shoppers experience the greenery, but without all the maintenance issues on the inside. Furthermore, we also use natural renewable resource, in this case also timber, and we are looking at a rhino wood, which is a engineered hardwood with virtually no maintenance. The third solution that we are implementing relates to green systems. And in this case, we are using the expansive roof spaces for a solar system, which will obviously have a certain buyback period, which especially in the long-term view of a commercial property owner definitely makes sense. And then on a smaller scale, we are looking at fresh air for the main passage, where the hot air will escape through the roof, obviously reducing the mechanical ventilation need. And then also the roof windows will let in filtered natural light through the vertical creepers, as we've seen earlier. And these solutions show that it is possible to create a commercially viable retail development that incorporates green architecture principles, both on a large and on a small scale. And I'll now hand over to Suné, who will talk about the joy of green architecture.
Good afternoon. Green architecture aims for the building to have a small ecological footprint and a limited impact on the environment. The joy of green architecture and design lies not only in the benefits it has for the planet. Green architecture is positive for the occupants of the buildings we design. A building can impact a person's health. We spend the majority of our lives indoors. NASA studies have found that indoor air pollution averages 2 to 5 times higher than outdoors. An unhealthy interior environment can lead to people experiencing symptoms of sick building syndrome that can range from allergies, skin irritation, headaches and fatigue to respiratory and other more serious health ailments, severely affecting occupants' comfort and productivity. This slide shows some causes of sick building syndrome. This is the example of a house where gases and fumes can be present in a garage or storage space and in a living room with a fireplace. Exposure to toxic fumes can cause allergic reactions or dizziness. Too bright or too scarce lighting cause headaches and place strain on one's eyes. Insufficient ventilation causes mold to form on bathroom surfaces, leading to respiratory illnesses. There are numerous pollutants that affect indoor air quality, such as CO2, dust, bacteria, and volatile organic compounds, also called VOCs. VOCs are byproducts of a variety of materials and processes that contribute to indoor air pollution and pose a health risk. A green building with these healthy foundations, as shown in the slide, is designed for optimum human health and comfort. A building with sufficient natural light, ventilation, and views to a landscape is a space where a person feels connected to nature and the environment and is aware of the weather outside and the passage of time. Green building design encourages the selection of building materials that do not release harmful compounds and gases that affect indoor air quality. The right choice of indoor plants can be an excellent way of improving indoor air quality and general health. Flowering plants fill rooms with color that can improve mood, help relax the mind, and increase creativity and productivity. As natural air filters, plants can significantly reduce the concentration of VOCs and other harmful substances in indoor environments while enriching the oxygen content of the air. Creative approaches to the upcycling of materials can spark joy and inspire people to innovate when confronted with waste and found materials. Driftwood can become a decorative wall light. Plastic bags are woven into flowers. A custom greenhouse can be made of reclaimed window frames. Glass bottles are installed to form a ceiling in a bar. This slide shows the creativity of South Africans in coming up with sustainable solutions. In the past week, there was an article in the Mail and Guardian about two sisters who are manufacturing eco-friendly bricks from 30% recycled plastic. The plastic brick is now being sold at the Builders Warehouse stores in Johannesburg. Nude Foods is a shop in Cape Town where you can take your own reusable containers to buy groceries. Ren Design is a South African brand that manufactures beautiful laptop bags and accessories from recycled cement bags. Woolworths has been trending on social media and is being innovative in finding a solution for their recyclable shopping bags. They are testing out shops where people can return the shopping bags. So as Anita mentioned, Samsung is a sponsor of this 3-day virtual Decorex event. This slide shows Samsung Eco Packaging. Made from corrugated cardboard, these specially designed product boxes transform into other useful items, giving a second life to package waste. We are ending this presentation with Samsung's Small World video. Small World is a playset made from packaging. At Samsung, they see continuity, evolution, and endless new beginnings. Take a product box. A box's life doesn't end when it's open. In fact, its story is just beginning, and with a little thoughtfulness, it can have a new life in a small world where imagination can reside. Whether it's in packaging or products, Samsung's greater purpose is to create sustainable solutions for the people of today and the planet of tomorrow. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
You could catch me floating high up the trees, skimming off the water, flowing with the breeze. What you got going to? I show you the way. Give me some
Thank you, team. That was so insightful, and well done on all those projects. It really is phenomenal.
No.
We've got a few questions. Let's see what they are. Okay, where will the bridge be located in Cape Town?
So there's a new development that our office is currently busy with. It's in Stellenbosch. So Stellenbosch is about 40 minutes outside of Cape Town. And there's an area called Klapmuts. That's where the Stellenbosch, well, the workshop will be built.
Stunning. Next question. Just waiting for it to pop up. How long will the bridge take to build?
Sure, I'm not 100% sure, but the benefits of using cross-laminated timber is that as soon as they start on the site, the company that makes the cross-laminated timber can already start manufacturing in the factory, and then it's all brought to site and then assembled. So I'm not sure how long it will take to build, but we did investigations, and the construction period should be significantly less.
Fantastic. Is there timber a higher fire risk than other conventional steel, concrete, and masonry buildings?
Not at all, not at all. Like I said about the misconceptions we believe as architects, and anyone, we think that timber is actually, it burns more because we use it as wood for fire, but it's actually not. They treat it so well that it's treated the right way. And also I've experienced, also they told me a lot when I was there about steel actually it melts, or it just burns and breaks down, where timber actually keeps on burning, but it won't break down the building. So there were one building in Czech Republic that burned for 14 hours, and afterwards they went back to the house and it was still standing. So there is definitely a misconception about timber that it burns, but they do treat it very well, and it won't it won't break, it will just burn. If that makes sense.
So interesting. Were there any special considerations which had to be taken into account for the fire risks?
I think they just treat it, so that's just one. So they just treat it well in the factory. But apart from that, it is already approved by council, so you can build with CLT construction. So it's good to go.
And then also I was reading up during my research for this project, the CLT panels themselves, you can get them in different fire ratings of 120 minutes, 90 minutes, and 60 minutes. So it is definitely doable.
Great. How does timber cope with weathering over time, and how do you maintain exposed timber after about 5, 10, 15 years?
So this also is a very good question, because I think that's something that people feel the timber actually, it gets ugly. I think that's the thing. Right. But like your house, you also need to paint it every 5 years. So you can really suggest a timber that's hardwood. So very beautiful cladding. It will fade. That is what timber does. But you can keep on treating it and painting, just varnishing it and making it neat. And the other option is there's a Pinotage house in Belgemoot that was also built with CLT construction, and that was cladded with normal plaster. So you can clad your house. You can look beautiful from the inside with CLT panels. And then if you don't like the timber that gets a bit like harsh with weather, then you can choose a conventional. It can look like a normal brick and mortar house. So you have different options.
Phenomenal. Okay, we've got 2 more questions. Does the construction process differ when using timber? Obviously,
yes, definitely. a lot. So with CLT, they prefabricate on site in the factory. So they cut it by millimeters. So you take your 3D model, if you have one, to the factory. They in the factory they will cut it on millimeters and brought to site. So it takes really quickly to put up. So they bring the panels, they put it up in a few, actually a few days if it's
Small scale,
a small scale. And so it's a lot different. It's a clean site. You don't have wastage. You have fast performance. You have excellent. The panels fit into each other perfectly. So you don't have any problems with it's fitted very nicely.
Yeah, another benefit is also with concrete construction, there's always that waiting time that you have to wait for the slab to cure or harden. Whereas with CLT, if you're doing a CLT floor slab, it's installed and you can just carry on moving ahead with the construction, which is, it'll save time and actually money on the building site.
Absolutely. And our last question is, what finishes can you do on the timber?
So I think I briefly said that earlier about the hardwood or the plaster, but there's also, you can stone it. You can put beautiful stones outside. So it's just like the skin, and then from the skin you build your facade, and you can also inside you can also change it. So there's a lot of different ways, and there's also a lot of information on HWZ International SA's website with a lot of catalogs and information, so it's easy accessible to go read a bit more about possible solutions in CLT construction.
Thanks again, guys. I think that's all our questions. And that was really insightful. Thanks for giving us that knowledge, teaching us, to be more sustainable and green in our environments and take care of this planet. So thanks for what you guys are doing, and well done.
Cool.
Great,
Thank you.
Thanks, Anita.
Thanks,
And a big
Anita.
thanks, Suné. And thanks again to our sponsor, Samsung, who would like to leave us with this message. Let's reimagine a better planet together. We believe in a better, greener tomorrow. In a planet where energy comes from clean resources and is used sparingly, where technology and innovation are used to solve environmental problems, not add to them, where we all join together to act against climate change. All positive changes start with the determination to reimagine old ways, to do what's right for all despite the obstacles. We're reimagining environmental sustainability into everything we do, from project design to packaging, energy saving to recycling. So join us. We can do more together. Starting today, let's all reimagine a better, greener planet. Thanks to everyone who joined over the last 3 days. Wishing you all a happy Heritage Day tomorrow. Till next time, be safe.